Does God seem quiet? Does it seem like you don't hear from him much? Well, maybe he's waiting for you to take a step outside. I'm Natalie. This is Women of Eternity. Let's go for a prayer walk. Whether it be a parable or a rock crying out or a tree planted by the water, nature is constantly revealing the goodness of God, the glory of God. I love how Psalm 19 says, "The heavens declare the glory of God." Everything that we see around us points back to him. And if we take time to step outside and just be in his presence, there's so much God has to reveal to us. Creation often speaks of God's provision, and the Bible frequently uses birds to remind us of this.
Listen to all the birds.
The Gospel of Matthew uses sparrows to paint this wonderful picture of provision. If not one falls to the ground without God's consent, and we're worth so much more than that, why would God let us fall? We have no reason to be afraid because he's always taking care of us. When you see a nest, think about how God has allowed them to have a home, and in turn the birds sing in the branches. Or maybe you see an eagle soaring, and remember that the Lord of hosts protects Israel. It's a wonderful reminder of God's provision. Perhaps you see a trail, and you remember that the path of the righteous grows brighter and brighter day by day. Maybe the grass reminds you of pastures, and you can reflect on John 10, that he is the door and he leads us to pastures. Or Psalm 23, that he is the good shepherd. He leads us to green pastures and beside still waters. Now, as the days get darker and the weather gets colder, a lot of us can fall into a depressive state, but God is still doing a new thing. I love Isaiah 43. Remember not the former things, nor consider the things of old. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? If we only look at what's dying, we miss what's birthing. We miss the new life that's coming. We miss what's blossoming before our very own eyes.
All right, so the sun is just starting to go down behind the trees and the houses, so it's not as well lit, but I just wanted to take a moment and share with y'all a revelation the Lord gave me last year. Actually, it was while the trees were starting to shed, and they're starting to look all naked and dead, right? All the trees are dying, they look dead. Right? And we get so disgusted at it. But as I looked at them, I just reflected and remembered that they look dead, but they're alive. And it's like the Lord said to me, are you willing to look dead to stay alive? Because a lot of times we go through seasons where we have to shed things that we once loved, or shed things that we thought made us beautiful, shed things that we thought made us vibrant, right? It might be people, it might be ideas, it might be clothing, whatever. And it'll look like you're suffering. It'll look like you don't have it together. It'll look like you're going in the wrong direction. It'll look like you're on the brink of death. However, just like the leaves, they take nutrients from the tree. It requires a lot of energy for the tree to hold on to these things. And the tree could hold on, but if it tried to endure the winter with all the cold, with the lack of light, with the lack of moisture and all that, if it tried to endure and hold on and look good, it surely would die. And then when spring comes along, when it's supposed to bring new life, it'll have nothing to bring forth. And it's so often the truth and the fact of the matter with us. When we hold on to things that we're supposed to let go of, sure, you may not look that great. Sure, it might look like you're dying. It may even feel like you're dying. You may feel like this is the hardest thing you've ever been through. The truth and the fact of the matter is, it's better to look dead and stay alive than to put on a front and die. For a lot of us, that's a spiritual death. It's better to endure the hard thing, to go through the trial and tribulation and be glorified have God exalt us. It's better to humble ourselves and allow God to exalt us and let God make a beautiful thing out of our mess and out of our situation than it would be for us to try to do it ourselves and fix it ourselves and hang on to things. I think of Hebrews when it talks about to throw off, right? To let go of everything that so easily entangles, the sin that so easily entangles, and to run the race with perseverance. You have to throw that thing off. Allow the leaves to shed, because in due time, in due season, when the time is right, you will spring forth. It springs forth. Can't you perceive it? God is doing a new thing. You're not dead. You're not dead. You may look it, but you're not. And so when the seasons start to change, I meditate on that. And I just think, how good is God that He uses nature, His very own creation, to reveal this stuff to us. Wow.
It can be so easy to go outside and say everything looks dead and sad, but when you look closely, new life is actually beginning. This is somebody's season. It may not be the season for your favorite thing, but there's something new for us to learn if we get excited and we actually pay attention.
You can smell the change in the air, like the leaves falling, different flora blossoming, like you can literally smell the change in season.
So maybe that's you. Maybe you're in a change of season, or maybe you feel like an evergreen. Everything is always what it's been. It's bland. It looks the same. Nothing changes. However, even the evergreen grows. Its trunk gets bigger, its roots get deeper, and that is what God expects for you. Things may not be changing and shifting the way you'd expect, but there is something for you in today. There's a joy for you today. There's a revelation for you today. And God is such a good God. He's literally put creation all around us to remind us how beautiful He's made each and everything, including you. When you see this, you might just see a bunch of trees. Wow, it's really pretty. But that's why it's important to take a moment to go deep, because you'll notice the details, how precious God made you, handcrafted you. There's something that you offer that no one else can. Each tree is different. It might even be the same species, but there's a pattern, there's a color that only that one has. And we can use that to remind ourselves there is something special in me. Each tree is different patterns, different colors. We have different callings, different giftings. And when we actually take the time to go outside and to pay attention, it's a wonderful reminder. Look at how the tree's branches reach up to the sky, almost like they're praising God. This one, it goes to the side, but the leaves are shaking like a tambourine, making a joyful noise. I love paying attention to the little things, because God pays attention to your little things. He knows the details. He knows the cares. He knows the concerns. There's so much inspiration you could draw from creation. Step outside. Do it today. I love you. God loves you even more. I'll see you in my next video.